Just be careful. 2 minutes.
Copy.
Hope it all goes through and works properly. Well, good morning and welcome in as we continue our series of Facebook Lives as we all roll through COVID-19 here in this new reality. It's spring break in Charleston County, so the kids technically don't have school today. If you've been trying to keep that a secret from your kids, sorry, I blew the lid on that. They're going to have to continue with their studies today. That's what I meant to say, kids. So if you're listening, it actually is school time. Want to bring in Charleston County Council Chairman Elliott Summey now. He's joining us graciously as he makes the rounds today as Charleston County continues its progress through COVID-19 and the response. Elliott, what's the very latest from Charleston County and how the county is responding to this?
You know, we are continuing to work hard as we can for our constituents. We've got a really great staff and a bunch of employees who really work hard over at emergency management. Jason Patno and Eric Watson and the whole crew over there really working hard to try to keep the information flowing, to try to keep people prepared, try to keep people supplied. You know, we're doing all we can. We host the Tri-County call almost every day. Normally at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6. With all the 70 some odd different federal, state, and local jurisdictions here in the Tri-County area. Jason does a really good job just kind of understanding where they are. He and I attend those together, and you know, like I tell him all the time, you know, I don't know what I don't know. So if someone doesn't raise their hand and give us an update and tell us where they're at and what they need, we can't really assist them. So it's just a great way to keep communication going with all of our Tri-County municipalities, PSDs, Joint Base Charleston, DHEC, and others, just to keep the communication flowing. So that's a huge part of what we do. And then, of course, we're continually on the line with the state, with the governor's office and others, MUSC, Roper, East Cooper Health, trying to keep make sure that they've got everything they need. So we're doing everything we can to try to get everybody through this. It's been a weird thing. I mean, a hurricane, as you know, Brad, you see it coming and you can see it going, and then you just pick up the debris afterwards, and hopefully no one has gotten physically harmed. This has been just weird.
It's like the longest wait for a hurricane that you could possibly think of. And you talked about the preparedness, because I think in a lot of places it is still that wait. Yes, we've had close to 150 or so cases in Charleston County. We've had one death in Charleston County. Statewide, listen, when you compare it to some of the other hotspots in the country, we've been very fortunate to this point. But there is that fear that maybe our wave is coming. When you look at the numbers, hospitals seem to be doing pretty well so far, 50% capacity. I would say that's doing okay. What do these hospitals need? What are they saying to you that they still need to prepare for, and what they need to be ready should that surge come?
So we've got a plan in place. I mean, we're really fortunate that we've got really good hospitals here in the Tri-County area that really work well with their government partners. And we're so blessed to have MUSC in our community. The fact that we've got a research hospital here that can test and be right on the cutting edge of what we need for preparedness is a huge advantage that some communities frankly don't have. So we're really blessed to have them, and they work really well with Roper and East Cooper and Trident and others to help people. I think all the hospital regional territorial stuff gets thrown out of the window when you have times like this. At least that's what I've been able to see. So we've been really blessed to have them. But yeah, right now it's making sure they have enough PPEs to make it through.
Do they?
So we're so far, yes, and we are assisting with that. I mean, we assist them with gathering up those supplies, and we distribute to them as well. So we're part of that supply chain with them. We back them up like that. Not only our EMS folks, but the hospital folks as well, all of our law enforcement folks, fire. So they're part of that. We've also been working with them in case, God forbid, we need to stand up another hospital. They've got Children's Ready, and we've got another backup plan at the old Naval Hospital as a backup plan as well. But we don't really foresee it becoming that big of a deal. But I mean, to not become a big deal, it's up to the public, right? It's listening to the president, listening to the governor, and stay home. I'm not going to pretend to be Samuel L. Jackson and use that kind of language, but he makes the point. Stay home. I mean, I know it's inconvenient, but the faster we get past this, the better off we're going to be.
You're talking about staying home. There's been loud calls for the governor to go ahead and issue that statewide stay-at-home order. Is that something that you think needs to happen for people to get the message?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the stay-at-home orders around the state around the country and what has been done with Mount Pleasant and City of Charleston, they really isn't any stricter than what the governor's already done. There's still essential services. There's those lists of essential services are like 2 or 3 pages long. And then the mayors have the opportunity to declare certain, if you apply, to declare others essential, like played against sports in Mount Pleasant. It was declared an essential service. Okay.
Right.
But, bottom line is that people still going to go to the grocery store. They're still going to go to the hardware store. The Homeland Security declares things as essential services like Lowe's and Harris Teeter and those sort of things. And quite honestly, I think right now you got a better opportunity to catch this at a grocery store or at a hardware store than you do about anywhere else. Just me moving around this weekend, Lowe's and Home Depot were packed in Mount Pleasant, full of people and who are trying to make the most of their time, by working around the house and doing other things. So I think that, I think the governor's going to do exactly what he needs to do when he needs to do it. He's a great leader, and he has done a very good job with a situation that he doesn't necessarily know about because there's no playbook for this. I think we're all learning on the job in regards to this. All we can do is listen to the experts. DHEC is not called on that and doesn't think we need to do it yet. So I think he's doing what he can, which is listening to his medical professionals around him.
Dr. Birx said yesterday at the White House briefing that maybe this would be the next 2 weeks that you should avoid going to the grocery store even or going to the pharmacy because this is a crucial 2 weeks for our country. The Surgeon General said this is going to be our Pearl Harbor moment, our 9/11 through this thing because it's going to be a particularly gruesome week, especially in those hot spots. Is that call even being filtered down to the states that aren't being hit as hard? That this is the next 2 weeks we really need to hunker down to make sure that curve flattens?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're all watching what's going on in the feds, and we're talking to Senator Graham and Senator Scott on a regular basis, and they're doing everything they can to keep information flowing to us as well. We're lucky that Tim is a member of this community, former chairman of county council like myself, and so we're really fortunate. He stays very involved. But yeah, that information fluctuates down, but we're looking. I think our peak here is the 27th of April is what they've been saying, 28th. So far, though, that the numbers that they've anticipated have been the last few days a little less than what they thought we would be at this point. So hopefully that trend continues. And I think that has to do with our citizens. They're listening. Has it been perfect? No. But for the most part, I'd say 90% of the people in the community are listening and doing their part.
Well, maybe now more than ever is the time to drill it home. You gotta stay home. This is where people are starting to get cabin fever is real. It's setting in for a lot of people, but don't get lulled into a false sense of security because you're seeing numbers that are less than were anticipated.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we should definitely do that. This is the crucial time. People need to listen, stay home. I know this has been a pain. I feel sorry for my wife and a bunch of moms out there who are now schooling their children for the first time. This is tough. But we're going to get through it, and we'd much rather be safe than sorry. So I think just everybody needs to stay the course, stay diligent, and we're going to get through it.
The other big issue for a lot of people, not just the virus, aside from the virus, hand in hand with it, is the economy. How do we get people in Charleston County back to work? We'll start this back, because it's not going to be a flip of the switch and we're right back to normal.
No, it's not turning on the faucet like you turn it off. That's for sure. Especially in our region where we're very hospitality driven. It's going to take some time to get people rolling. I think we've got to work hard with the feds and with the state to try to work on making sure that people are getting this stimulus money like they're supposed to. I know there's been some issues with that and some complaints. I can only imagine, though, how many applications that they're getting in. So it's got to be a little cumbersome for the federal government right now. But I think I have faith that they're going to do the right thing by everyone. Bottom line, though, is that we just got to make sure that we support our local businesses as much as possible when things get going. And I know everybody's gotten used to Amazon Prime right now, but we got to make sure that we get out there. We got to go to those restaurants and support our F&B folks and encourage people to get here. I think the one good thing we've got going for us is, people over the last few years are used to Charleston being a flying destination for tourism. But remember, for decades, we've always been a driving destination. So hopefully, I know that the CVB and the chamber and those folks are working really hard to put a plan together to help market Charleston and get it back up and going. Brad, we've been through a lot of stuff. If you look at our history here in Charleston, whether it's fires, earthquakes, civil wars, the Great Depression, base closure, Hurricane Hugo, you name it, we've been through it, and we always come back better. And that's because of the diligence of our citizens. I mean, if anyone, would have thought the response to our community would have been what it was after the Emanuel 9, I think no one in this country could have imagined how well our community responds. And when we're people, when adversity hits, we come back stronger than we were before. And I believe in the folks of Charleston, and I think that we're gonna bounce back from this, and we're gonna bounce back stronger than ever.
Speaking of driven, I think it bears noting that you are not driving; you are being driven somewhere. No. Where are you going?
Yeah, both ends. I'm headed to the county building right now, and then to the airport. Checking on both of those today, and then we're headed to pick up my car that had to get serviced, and then go check on City Hall, go check on the boss, make sure Dad's doing okay, and then heading home to be with my kids and my wife. Going home.
Talk about the unsung heroes, the guys in the shops, the men and women who are mechanics taking care of vehicles. I talked to a guy on Facebook this morning, a member of the ILA working down at the port. We also talk about truckers and the jobs that they're doing. I had someone mention, a truck driver, talk about the struggles for these truck drivers when it comes to the simple things, Elliott. Getting something to eat, going and finding a place to hit the restroom. Have you heard any complaints, and what can be done to help these men and women running the trucks? They got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, we as many of these service stations are staying open as possible. The restaurants I think are doing a great job trying to survive as best as they can by delivery and by takeout. But what we got to do is just be courteous to them on the road. First of all, anybody who's ever driven an 18-wheeler will tell you they don't stop like four-wheel cars do. And so just be courteous to them on the roads. When you see them, encourage them. They are the unsung heroes. I mean, you think of essential services and those sort of things. You think of fire, police, EMS, dispatchers. You don't think of our logistics and transportation folks. I'm telling you that without them, we'd be in a bad shape. So we're really blessed that we've got a bunch of people who are out here wanting to do right by everyone in our country. Again, like I said, our country in our community is a place where we're resilient. We believe in freedom, and we believe in helping others and helping each other. And so we're real blessed to have them in our community, and we're blessed to have our first responders. I'll tell you, Brad, the men and women of our law enforcement, fire, EMS, our dispatchers, they are by far, in my humble opinion, the best in the country. I mean, if you think of all the things they've been through the last 5, 6, 7 years, they always step up. And when you see them, right now you can't shake their hand, you can't hug them, but just smile at them, just say thank you. That's what they love. I mean, they're doing this. They don't do this for the money, that's for sure. They do it for the love of this community, and just give them some of that love back. And that's what they really want.
I think that's as good a place as we can leave it right there. Charleston County Council Chairman Elliott Summey, appreciate your time, and best moving forward. Good luck at home.
Thanks, Brad. One last thing for you and for all of our partners in the media. We can't do this. We can't get this information without you guys. You guys have been out there too on the front lines. I mean, y'all are out there busting butt just like us, and you're putting yourselves in harm's way. So I just want to say thank you to you guys as well. Y'all, we cannot get this information without our wonderful partners in the media. And Brad, thank you. I know you got little children at home too, so you worry about, exposing them. So thank you for what you do, for what everyone in the news media does. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.